What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. So we're going to be talking Zero Chill, and that's going to get started on December 16, 2019, about 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check your Orlando, Florida listings, depending on the country that you're in or wherever you're located. Florida time, Eastern Standard Time, 10:30 a.m. They're going to be kicking it off. New solos, new currency, things of that nature. I'm going to touch on a few things, all right? Now, they didn't reveal a lot of stuff. Obviously, right now, we know that Bruce Smith is going to be the master, like a certain version of a master. Then you're going to have Gingerbread masters, Amari Cooper, Adrian Peterson, all the kind of stuff. But the Kindling is really what I wanted to talk to you guys about, because when these new currencies come out, like more recently, we just had the Blitz Bolts. You got to be very, very careful, and I want to point that out simply because many of you guys that are new to all of this new currency stuff, you don't really understand it, which is why we're having a really, really good time here, because the community on this channel, you guys are talking to each other, you're figuring out stuff, and we're all working together to get like the maximum achievement of what we're trying to do. So with the way that this works, right, this is the first thing that we're going to do. Number one for me, Bruce Smith, he's a very, very good card. He does not fit my scheme because he's too slow. And I know the next thing that you guys are going to say is, yeah, Gmia, but you can use him at D-tackle. Well, he has the 90 finesse move, like 90-something block shed, 90-something power moves. All of that is really, really good. And I know a lot of you guys have been looking at my secondary D-tackle position, and you've been asking, like, Gmia, when are we getting rid of this guy, Linval Joseph? Because that dude is garbage. And you guys are absolutely right. And we will be upgrading that position very soon, but that has yet to come. We're going to wait it out and see what's happening. We might put a Mean Joe Green there. We might do some other things with it. We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's the ultimate master of what they're starting off with. We're still holding back to kind of see what's going on with Calvin Johnson. There's rumors of other players. We're going to talk about a few other things as well. Now, as far as the solos go, I'm going to be giving you guys more information about it tomorrow once it drops, but you are going to be able to get another collectible for your team captain. So my Ryan Shazier is about to get elevated again. I don't know which players you guys choose, but we'll be able to figure that out later. But when you go over to the challenges with the missions, you are going to have a whole new set of things to do. Hearth players, Kindling, Gingerbread, it's crazy, bro. It's really, really wild. And I know a lot of us haven't even finished off the gauntlet because it was delayed due to some server issues that were going on, but we will get through all of that probably throughout the week. I'll get you guys some insight on that as well. I do want to point out that Derwin James, when powered up, like I said, I don't think the gauntlet player goes into that, the one that we've already had, the one that they're releasing right now. So I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be asking about that, like, Gmia, what about the gauntlet? Do we need that player? I don't know how his power-up path is going to actually work out once that card is released, but I do know that he will be kept to a 94 speed for most of us that have John Madden Coach and Sprinter. Okay, so that's another thing. Derwin James is going to have the good hit power. I don't think, for me, that Pat Tillman is replaceable, even though they have been like, they've been very, very lax with his upgrades. He should be getting an upgrade very soon. Like, bro, I don't even know what they're doing with the additional collectibles and things of that nature. I have no idea, but he should be getting something soon as well. So we're gonna have to definitely take a look at that once all that information is released. But you are gonna have opportunities to get presents again. I just wanted to point that out. They're gonna be house rules. Christian McCaffrey at running back is going to be available, but I think they leaked that on their Twitter via TikTok. So there are going to be certain things that you can do. So the best thing right now that I can recommend, because with all of these new things that are going to be changing up, right? It's like everything is being thrown at you, right? I don't want you guys to panic and start selling stuff and going crazy. The market is actually very, very trash right now. So I would actually tell you to kind of lurk some of the cards that people are throwing away. I know you probably, if you guys watched my previous video, you may notice that Bruce Matthews is now here, and he just had a huge like fire jalapeno pepper, and he's screaming about it in his photo. But I'm going to explain to you guys later why I ended up trying him out and the reasoning behind everything with that. But now is the time to kind of look to what you want to do, because within this next week, it's going to be up and down. It's going to be a crazy, crazy market, and it's going to culminate with the Friday when they release the NFL 100 wide receivers. You see, once that happens, everything is going to start to be laid out for us, because regardless of what other cards we're looking for, you know, a Sean Taylor, whatever, it doesn't really matter. The wide receiver position, depending on what they give those NFL 100 receivers, that's going to shape a lot of our teams. So all of this stuff with the new currency, the gingerbread, all the stuff that's going on, it doesn't really matter. Okay, none of it really matters because it's all going to be shaped by what Randy Moss, T.O., and these guys have to start the game. Why am I telling you that in advance? Because if you don't have a secondary player that can cover those type of, X factors to start a game, you're going to lose a lot of games. And I wanted to make sure it's not all about zero chill. It's about the fact that this mode has taken some things from Superstar KO that it's made it a little bit more arcadey. And it's creating a lot of rage for me during gameplay, so I want to make sure you guys are prepared for that. So as they release more information, Calvin Johnson, the one knock that's going to be on him is if they don't give him a starting ability, if he happens to be one of the masters that are coming. You see what I'm saying? You guys got to keep that in mind. Randy Moss's price may be wild simply because he starts off with Moss or Double Me or something ridiculous. So what are you going to have to do? The number one thing that I'm going to tell you guys about right now so that you guys can be prepared for it, you see the fact that Ronnie Lott starts off with, what does he have? He has the Reinforcement 100. So some of you guys are like, yo, Gmia, are we safe with just having him? I got Ronnie Lott. Is that going to be okay? You can read what it actually does. It's a higher chance to defeat run blocks and disrupt catches. So if you have him at safety on the side that Randy Moss is, and they throw it to you to cover 2, and you click on, there's a chance you'll be able to stop, Moss or whatever it is, right? If, for whatever reason, it's on the other side, and you can't really move them over, that's going to create another situation. So what's probably going to happen is that you're probably going to have to get a corner with an ability if Randy Moss is like that, all right? Or T.O. or whoever starts off with a crazy X Factor. Because I'm just letting you guys understand, I've played against people, and I know we all have at this point, that when they have those X Factors activated, you can have 16 guys over there. They're still catching the ball. All right, so as we start to look to everything that we're going to be doing, those are my major pointers that I want you guys to understand. As you start to spend your coins, as you start to figure out, what player I'm adding here, how much kindling I need here, like all this weird stuff that's going on, gingerbread, like it's wild out here in these streets. Like I thought I was watching Shrek. But that's not what this is about. What this is about is the fact that you're also going to get that other dude, Ted Hendricks, and he starts off, he comes with Enforcer. That might be something you got to look at, but I've already told you guys, the left outside linebackers and the right outside linebackers, they don't generally get the Enforcer the way the middle linebackers and the strong safeties and the safeties or whatever, they don't get it like those guys. So I would be very, very cautious of it. It's such a different variation of cards and players that as we go forward, if they don't give us a good master, this may turn out to be very, very bad for a lot of us that wait and don't get these other cards for cheaper prices. That's what I really want to explain and try to go through. Now, for me, where I am right now, I don't want the center. Would I consider getting the right tackle? That's the NFL 100. Ogden, I don't know. Munoz is not that much better than Joe Thomas, so it's not a big deal. Plus, Joe Thomas gets chemmed to a 95. So if you do want any of these players right now, I believe that you can take the chance to figure it out, because if it turns out to be a promo where they just put out a lot of, subpar players or whatever, because you guys have complained about a lot of the other promos, like when we got Chris Johnson and we got Lamar Jackson, we're like, with the blitz, those two guys, all right, maybe it's not everybody's cup of tea. Calvin Johnson, though, he would be a sell, but only if Randy Moss doesn't come with a crazy ability, which I believe that he has to have because they've already done it with the other players. So remember this, before you start going wild and like getting a quadrillion kindling, the new currency, be very, be cautious of that. You see what I'm saying? What other cards are available right now that you can invest in, that you can see if you get them right now while it's cheap? All right, I'll go ahead and snag this guy, because once everything is laid out, if it turns out that a lot of these cards are not what everybody wants them to be, you're going to have some issues. There's going to be some major issues too. And you're going to be very, very upset. You're like, yo, Gmia, I spent all this stuff trying to get all this kindling, yo. And I'm going to be like, why did you do it? Now, as far as the center goes, I told you guys about this earlier. 442, 449, whatever, he could go less than that. The reasoning behind why he's so cheap, if you look at his height and the weight factor when you compare him to a bigger Travis Frederick, it just makes sense that you keep Travis Frederick right now, especially if you run the ball, just looking at the bottom greens, all right? So this guy's going to be one of the cheaper cards. I wouldn't really focus on him too much. If you want to add him, God bless you, bro. Do what you got to do, all right? I would focus on some of the other cards. Maybe Munoz keeps dropping. You want to try him out? Because, yeah, like I said, him and Joe Thomas are pretty much very, very similar with a lot of the other things. But I'm telling you guys this just so everybody's aware. If it turns out that the Masters that they release are not too good and these players are going to be the next move, these players are going to jump back up in price. You've already seen Larry Allen. I got him for 600. He's down to 500. And he's actually the best lineman that was released. So pay attention to the market. Try to snipe what you can and be ready for whatever comes out. Because more than likely, do you really think you're going to get one or two cards that you really, really like? I would probably go with one. I would be very, very surprised if it's two players and I'm like, yo, I got to have those guys. So right now, I'm just gearing up, building my team to win right now. And just to make sure that I'm ready for whatever else, comes along. But I'm not going crazy with it and spending too much unless, for me, it's good O-linemen. Because once we get a good receiver in a Moss or a T.O. or whatever with good speed, good run block, it's pretty much GG's. You don't really need much more. Like I said, for me, I'm going to get a better D-tackle, and that probably will be it for me. But I want you guys to do me a favor. Tomorrow, you're going to get an earlier video. Once they release everything, I'm going to go over everything that's currently available in Zero Chill, and then we're going to grind from there, including the whole team captain token stuff, and then we will evaluate, based on what they've given us so far, how we proceed going forward. And that's what we're going to be doing. All right, guys? So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into a late night video. Hopefully, you guys are having a good night. Look out for the GmiasWorld podcast on GmiasWorld Podcast on YouTube, coming tomorrow. Also available iTunes, Android, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Just search GmiasWorld Podcast. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You have an unbelievable night. Stay blessed. One love, y'all.